Since so many of you guys liked my rambly tea vlog, I figured I would film another one, only I'm gonna have a slightly different topic. This is just something I kind of fancied talking about and thought, why not, you know, kind of share this weird story with you guys and see how many of you think I'm a crazy nutbag and I'm making this up. When I promise you guys, I'm not. I wish I was, but I'm not. Oof. I've just adjusted the light a little tiny bit because I think that this is better than the yellowy tinge that I had. I've now just got my ring light on and I haven't got anything else on. Still a little bit yellowy, but not as much. I know a lot of people are gonna just comment on this saying that I'm stupid and that, you know, blah blah yada yada and whatever, but I don't even care. Do you believe in aliens? Does anybody here believe in, you know, extraterrestrials? Are we really alone? I could speculate this topic, you know, I could just talk about this topic for hours and hours on end. I'm not going to go too deep into my beliefs, but I believe that we can't possibly be the only ones, like, you know, around here. There's definitely just got to be more out there, I believe. Like, I do truly believe that we aren't the only ones here. And so many people claim to have seen UFOs or been abducted by aliens, and why should we dismiss that they're crazy instantly? You know what I mean? Like, I believe that you should be open-minded about these kind of things. And then one day if you do get abducted by aliens, then I'm just going to be like putting you on the operating table and just being like, hey, look, you didn't believe in us. Sod's law for you, mate. Now we're gonna impregnate you with our alien babies and then send you to wipe out the human race, and yeah. But basically what I'm trying to get to is, over the past couple of months, I've seen like a variety of like different things, like peculiar things ever since moving to this area, and it's kind of crazy. And the most recent one has messed with my head a little bit. And I just kind of wanted to tell this snippet. I'm not going to go too into detail with what I've seen over the past like couple of months or weeks, because I'd be here all day like describing every single detail, because you all know what I'm like when I'm telling a story. I just go into like major detail about these things. I'm just going to touch upon like one of the experiences, like the cherry on the cake as to why I'm kind of like, what the fuck is going on now? Like seriously starting to get a little bit paranoid. So let's just say that I've seen some really weird things over the past couple of months while living here, and I've just kind of like disregarded a lot of them and forgotten about them. But the most recent one has really got me thinking, like, am I being watched? And I'm not even joking. Like, you're probably like about to click off this video and say, you know, wow, what's this like blue-haired bitch talking about, green-haired, whatever colour this is supposed to be. What's this bitch talking about? Makes no sense. And yeah, it was around 3:30 in the morning, I think. Yeah, about 3:30 in the morning, and I'd gone outside to smoke a fag with Niall before bed. Oh my god, this is the bit where all the comments are gonna come rush in. Oh my god, if you start smoking again, Firstly, like, yeah, I have started smoking again, which I'm not very proud of, but I'm not smoking too much. I'm only smoking like, I think, 2 a day really, and that's if I'm really stressed. But I've kind of just found that having a fag at the end of the day when everyone's asleep and I'm about to get in bed it's really nice. It's just like a breath of fresh air, just to sit in the garden and, you know, smoke a cigarette and just kind of like, you know, just like breathe and just like, or whatever. It's just like, I don't do it around Athena, and it's like I don't go out there and then come straight in and then like start touching her or anything like that. And I wouldn't class myself as like a regular smoker now. I wouldn't say that I'm about to open a tobacconist, or become a tobacconist, I should say. I wouldn't say that I'm addicted to it again or whatever. Well, I've never really been addicted to it. I'm one of those people that can start smoking, then stop smoking and be like, meh, whatever. But either way, like, you know, I've started smoking here and there again because it's just kind of like, my stress levels recently have been quite high. That's for me to worry about, not for you to worry about. Would I rather not be smoking? Yes, but the occasional fag every now and then isn't gonna hurt me. So let's just throw that out. I feel like I had to say something because I'm starting the story with, I was outside having a fag, because I don't want to lie to you guys and say I was outside and I was just having a fag, because, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, just so you maybe like me a little bit more. Whatever. So we're out there, it's about 3:30, and just minding our own business, and I could hear this really weird noise. At first it started with like a rumbling, like a very low, you know, low frequency earthquake without the shaking of the ground. And I've experienced a few earthquakes, and that's all I could really compare the sound to, which sounds very strange to begin with. So that was really weird, and I pointed out to Niall and he just shrugged it off, and then I could hear a low resonating noise, and it was strange. It made me feel uncomfortable, and all of a sudden I was just full of anxiety, and I was like, okay, this is freaking me out a little bit. And my house is attached to 2 other houses, I think. Yeah, I think it is in the middle, but it's got these little archways in between them. It's just like a shelter, and that's where we were smoking because it was, you know, raining on and off here and there. So we just sat there, and I'd heard all this stuff and I was pointing it out to Niall, and he just wasn't taking me on really. He was just kind of like, yeah, right, okay, whatever. And I'm sat on this chair in this archway, and I'm a bit closer to the end of the archway where it's like this, and Niall's a bit further. And once I started to hear these noises, I kind of stood up and I kind of walked to the other side, and I was like a little bit anxious, a little bit on edge, and I was just kind of like smoking as quick as I could because I was like, I kind of want to get back into the house, and I don't know why. So then I walked further down and sat back where I originally was and told myself I was being stupid. And I looked straight, and I could see a brick wall, obviously, because I'm in the archway and the chair was sideways, but I could see my garden as well, so it was like this, and the garden was there. That's when I saw it. Like, it was so strange. Like, I just saw like 3 flashes. I can't remember if it went blue, or white, blue, white. I can't quite remember. All of this like moaning I'd been doing to Niall, saying, oh, is it this, is it that, is it this? And then he saw it too, so it wasn't just me that saw it. Now, I get up and I shit my pants a little bit, and I walk towards the other side of the archway where there's a gate, and it's like leading to the front of my house, like, you know what I mean, like the other person's garden and my garden. I walked to that, I got heebie-jeebies there, and I kind of felt anxious a little bit, so I kind of walked there, and I turned my back round, and I started talking to Niall, and I heard rustling behind me, and some weird noise that was just strange. Like, I can't even explain it, I can't even compare it to anything because it's just weird. I can't explain it. And I heard some weird noise. I know Niall heard it as well because he just knew why I just dropped the cigarette, and I just ran inside the house. And I went inside the house and I go into the living room, and one of my friends was staying over, and he's on the couch, and there's like a cut in the curtains, and I sat down on the couch and like I looked through the curtains, and I was just looking, and I kind of thought, oh, did that really just happen? Like, and I was kind of anxious and freaked out about it. I was just kind of like, am I like seeing things? Like, seriously, what the fuck? Like, I was just kind of like in shock a little bit. I've never seen anything so vivid like that, so close. It was like it was just above the fence, this flash, and it was weird because I've just been really curious now. Like, and one of my friends told me there's like a theory that if you've been abducted by aliens, the last thing they recall is really, really bright lights. And that's supposed to be the aliens wiping your mind, or like apparently a light that fixates us as human beings and distracts us. It could distract us for like an amount of time or whatever, yada yada. These are things that I've read, like conspiracies and like all this crap, so I'm not going to say it's 100% true. It's just a theory. I don't believe every single thing that I hear or read. I'm just being very open-minded. I shit bricks, to be honest. If there were bricks to be shat, I shat them very quickly. And I'm sat on the couch, and Niall's still outside, and you're probably thinking, you'd be shit in a horror film, you Jess, because you just run away from all the zombies. Probably. It freaked me out, and I just was not going to stick around, and Niall would rather finish the rest of his cigarette, true smoker there, and risk possible abduction by aliens, but I was not risking that shit. I just, nope. So I'm sat there on the couch, and I looked between the curtains, and I just kind of glanced back at my friend who was snoozing. I was going to wake him up because like he says he's seen all kinds of things before, whatever, and I wanted to like wake him up and say like, I've just seen this and that, yada yada, but it was 3:30 in the morning, and I'm more polite than that. If you stay over at my house, I'm more than likely not going to wake you up at 3:30 to be like, I saw an alien. You know when you stare into the light bulb, and a light bulb is like an orb? It was like that. It had no shape. I have no idea what it was. I've even read online that some people have been visited by angels, and they appear very similar to what I saw. So I'm just kind of like, what the hell? But ever since, I've been trying to piece together some weird jigsaw in my head, like, what was that? What could it have been? And I thought at first, could it have been an ambulance? But definitely no, it couldn't have been. Could it have been a plane? It definitely not, because you have to squint at the sky to see the lights on an aeroplane most of the time. And that was just like really bright and really intimidating, and just right there and then, like, I just shit myself. When I'm sat on the couch and contemplating, you know, waking my friend up from like his slumber, I saw another flash between the curtains. I just saw one big white flash, and I kind of thought, what the fuck? And I thought that one could have been anything. Was that the same as what I just saw though? Like, and it just kind of played in my head, and then I walk to the back, and I walk into the back room, and Niall's just outside, smoking his fag, giving me a dirty look, like, bitch, you left me. But I was just scared, really scared. And then I remember the night afterwards, I got up again, but this time, like, I wasn't smoking a fag in the garden with Niall before going to bed. I was up because I was putting Athena's bottle in the warmer, and, you know, like, that half asleep tumble down the stairs, where the baby's woken up at 3 in the morning for a feed, and you just can't be arsed with anything, and you're just like shaking the bottle and putting it in the warmer and stood there like, ugh. Well, every time I feed Athena, this is just something I always do, don't know if everyone else does it, could just be a hygiene freak over here. I always wash my hands really thoroughly, like even if they don't need washing, even if they're clean, I wash them before I feed her, because I kind of think, you know, if I'm feeding her, the least I can do is be hygienic. I was washing my hands in the sink, and in my kitchen where the sink is, there's a window on the top, so you look up, and I was washing my hands, and I could have sworn in my peripheral vision I saw some kind of figure in my back garden about how tall now? Probably about the same height as Chris, and Chris is probably about 6 foot or something like that. And then I looked up and it was gone, and I thought, yeah, Jess, you're starting to get a little bit too paranoid. Like, you are starting to get a little bit too paranoid, I think. But it's weird because ever since, like, you know, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I've just settled Athena and I'm contemplating, you know, going into the garden maybe for a cheeky cigarette before I go to bed, I just don't want to go on my own. And I'm kind of becoming quite scared of the dark now, like on my own, which is really weird because I'm like 23 years old. I typed in my area into Google and then UFO sightings, and apparently a lot of people in my area have seen very similar things in the sky and they can't put the finger on what it could be. And I was asking a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and he told me that he used to live on the street, like behind my street, but you know, he doesn't know where I live, he's never actually been to my house. And he told me that he lived on this street, and I said, oh, well, where's that? Because I don't really know my area like super well. And he said, oh, it's near this shop. And I said, oh, I live near that shop on this street. He went, oh, no way, I lived on the street behind it. I said, what did you see? He said, probably about southwest of my vision, like some really bright lights, but you know, I was smoking in the garden at the time, and you know, I just kind of thought I was tripping balls. Because long story short, he just told me that he was high, like he was just stoned and he was in the garden, and he looked up to the sky and he thought, yeah, I'm probably just high. But then he says on another occasion, he'd been completely sober and he'd seen something really similar again, but he just shrugged it off both times thinking, meh, whatever. I can't seem to shake what I've seen. I don't know why. Now, it could just be that I'm one of those people that can't let things go until I know all of the details, which I'm kind of one of those people that kind of just needs to know every piece of the puzzle in order to kind of disregard it or just kind of get on with what I'm doing. But I've just kind of found that I'm like, what was that? It could have been anything. It could have just been like, you know, a test from the government. It could have been anything, but like, I can't shake the heebie-jeebie feeling it gives me. I wanted to ask you guys if you've had any really weird experiences. Have you guys got any experiences that you wish to share with me? I love people's stories about like unexplained events and just things they see in the sky, or you know, experiences. I'm really interested in all of that stuff. I would say that I definitely believe that we're not alone, but at the same time, like, I'm quite skeptical. Probably because I'm so skeptical of this type of thing as well. That's one of the reasons why I've not been able to shake it, because I'm one of those people that's just kind of like, nah, it would have been this. Nah, it's only a plane, or it's only this, it's only that. And like, I don't know, I've just been hearing all of these really weird stories and like reading like newspaper articles and stuff. Like, it's strange. And it's weird because I wouldn't know about all those things that have apparently happened in this area unless I'd actually Googled it. But how much can you believe off Google and stuff? It's like, I don't even know, but apparently my area is just like really known for like unusual activity. But it could be the government, it could be anything really. I've just been really like, what the fudge? And it's like Niall as well, and his friend down the road where Niall used to live, him and his friend said they'd seen like what they believe was a UFO really close up, like hovering over the neighbourhood. Like at first it's like I was very skeptical and I didn't really believe him, but now I feel like I'm more open to believe it. Now I'm kind of just thinking to myself, I've just got the heebie-jeebies. I don't really want to go outside in the dark on my own. I'll probably get over this in a few days, but it's just like right now I kind of fancy talking about it and asking you guys if you have any weird experiences. Thought I'd choose a little bit of a different subject for this tea vlog, because I'm gonna start doing these videos like whenever I just feel like speaking about something really random, like whether it be a story, like kind of like this one, like a true story by the way. I just figured that I'd make these tea vlogs a regular thing, because then you guys can maybe suggest topics for things that I could talk about, and then if I just fancy making a really random vlog, I could just make one. So I've just had to like wait a little bit longer because I'm supposed to be going out somewhere. That's why I've got a hat on now. And I've just thought then, like, I've got a bit longer, so I'll tell you another quick story about something really weird that I saw in the sky once. Flying Teletubby.